Of course, we all want a common ground and consensus to going towards an election or a political environment where everyone is heard and we all respect each other's grounds and arguments. That's we all want it. And as been said by eminent speakers already, that Bangladesh Awami League has been in the forefront due to its lead in terms of the liberation war under the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. But these common grounds over the years have been tarnished. And when we talk about how it's been tarnished, I think these things need to be elaborated. I don't want to go way back and I don't want to go too much in detail, but I just want to detail a couple of things. First, 71, the freedom of Bangladesh. 73 election, I think we have left out 73 election. It's a very acceptable election that was held in 73 elections. And fair enough, and after that, the military regime. And we all, I think all parties, BNP, Jatiya Party was led by General Ershad, and BNP and other parties, they collaborated toward getting consensus, bringing back democracy. And 1991 election, which we all think that it's a credible election, let's go for it. So 1991 election, it was a temporary understanding mode of election, which we all accepted. And we went into elections, BNP won, Awami League was in the opposition. And then going forward, what happened? 1994, Magura by-election. What happened in Magura by-election? Just previous to Magura by-election, Dhaka City Corporation, Chittagong City Corporation election was lost by BNP. So they became just desperate. In Magura election, it was massive rigging. And that is where the common ground was lost, in my honest opinion. Then in 1996, of course, as Rumin Farhana has already mentioned, Awami League floated the idea of caretaker form of government, and everyone had consensus, went into election, and then of course Awami League came into power in 1996. And if we say from then onwards until now, everyone forgets 2001 was the only time during that tenure, or this tenure since 1991, is peaceful power transition had happened. Awami League, under the leadership of Sheikh Hasina, we lost the election, we handed over the power to BNP. This was a peaceful transition. Other than that, I haven't seen, or we do not see, or we cannot claim that there was any peaceful transition. So 2001 happened. Going forward, we came across 2006. So 12.3 million fake voters. The Chief Justice, who became CEC, his term was increased 2 years, not exhausting enough constitutional grounds, and that created controversy. And then, of course, 15th February election we all know about, which BNP did, and so forth and so forth. And again, election came up, and 2 years of unconstitutional government, military-backed government we saw, and then 2008 election. And I also want to mention that 2014 election is not unconstitutional because it was participatory in different format, and of course we can always say, and I have heard a lot of speakers say, a lot of eminent people saying that it wasn't fully participatory because BNP did not participate, but it was an unconstitutional. Now going forward, what do we do? As soon as I came into this hall room, I think I was sharp on time today. Somebody asked me, what do you think is going to happen? So I said, what do you mean? It's like, what are you going to do? That means Awami League or power, Awami League in power, what is Awami League going to do? I said, you need two people to tango. You need two people to tango. You cannot put everything on one's shoulder and talk about consensus. You need the other part or the other party to be able to have resolutions which are acceptable by all parties. So that is, I think, where we are lacking behind. And Rumin Farana, I think I should have sat there beside her, today, because this separation, it's for the optics, but it clears clear division, you know. So this for the optics, but then again, it kind of creates a clear division. So what she outlined in her deliberation was a clear 10 points that they have outlined in their the going forward, their demands as such. And Saqib Bhai has also mentioned his 7 points, that their party has demanded and so forth. These demands are all well and good, as long as they are acceptable by the other party, which could be us as well. We are a part as well. So these things needs to be elaborated in different fashions. So that is one part that we need to understand. Consensus means acceptability by all party, does not only mean the party in power. One. Now going forward, acceptability. I very much accept the criticisms going forward and behind towards 2018 elections. We accept the criticisms, but then again, where was the criticisms and where is the reference point that was driven by BNP and then allies in terms of creating an ecosystem or holding an election which is acceptable? Where is that notion? And when we talk about negotiation, who do we negotiate with? The people who do not have a track record of peaceful transfer of power. We do not have a track record of non-alignment. We do not have a track record of non-violence. We can talk about non-violence. Asanullah Master MP, former Finance Minister, Mr. Kibria, 23,000 Awami League, leaders and workers were killed in tenure of 5 years. So, and the nail in the coffin in terms of consensus and common ground was absolutely went, beyond any point, was 21st August 2004 grenade attack. What do we say in that? Do BNP owe up to this atrocities that was done? I, for one, I'm also a victim when I do say my father was one of the individuals who was injured from knee downwards until his foot was all burnt. Then he had to go through surgery in India. So we are also a victim of 2004 grenade attack. So the common grounds and the trust issue is a big challenge that we have right now. So this discussion, although we are trying to be civil as much as we can, this discussion is very much welcomed, and I say with authority as well as with responsibility, we as Awami League and as a member of parliament representing my party, we are willing to have open and free discussion, but those discussions needs to be having a little bit of common grounds where we can also accept some. It cannot be just a one-sided affair. You give a 10-point bulletin and we give a 5-point bulletin and 7-point bulletin. So these sort of discussions needs to have some significance going forward. I think it is good, Zafar Bhai as well as the Norwegian Embassy, to organize this sort of discussions. It's a pleasure that I've been here the second time on this discussion. Previously we were talking about the Ukraine war and Bangladesh's stand towards a global multilateral aspect of it. So we want all these things to be done. And with regards to Sharmin Appa's initial deliberation, and she's been very, very clear in terms of what and what not, right? So, of course, we talk about civil society. It was Awami League who had the support of the civil society in 1971, and that is why they were killed. And it is not that we are trying to marginalize it. There are civil societies who talk in favors of a lot of grounds that has been made by Awami League. And especially we are talking about the elections. Since we are talking about the elections, this election bill, election commission bill, was a demand also by BMP. We have now in 2022, we have the ones who have actually passed it in Parliament. We're open to the idea of having a thorough discussion and going back to make adjustments. That is not beyond any discussion. We can talk about discussion. We talk about Digital Security Act. We talk about Terrorism Act. Which country does not have these sort of security measures? You tell me. The Honorable Law Minister has again and again has mentioned that we are ready to talk about the adjustments that we can do in terms of Digital Security Acts, because yes, I do agree that there have been some cases where misappropriation of those Digital Security Acts was enacted, but by and large, these Digital Security Act is a necessity. We have fellow friends from the media and journalistic fraternity. But there needs to be accountability. Where is the accountability? You do not have accountability, then we are talking about governance. Governance and accountability goes in synonyms. It is hands in hand. So accountability is also required. So Digital Security Act is required. And then we talk about Terrorism Act, which is required. So these sort of measures are taken to have a safeguard in the state. And of course, I do not support any sort of violence, state-driven violence against a political party. But when we talk about rule of law, what does the state do? The state has a right to defend or to protect its citizens and the property of the citizens. We cannot forget 2013 atrocities, violence, murder, burning. How are you going to deny those things? Who did those things? BNP and Jamaat.